Welcome back inside the Hat Parker Arena for your second period intermission report. I'm joined alongside now by Powell River Kings goaltender Brian Wilson. And Brian, there's a lot of things I wanted to talk to you about during this interview, but first and foremost, I wanted to talk about your first year of junior hockey 2 seasons ago, because it was a pretty unique year for you. You were playing for Canada in the CCHL out in Ontario, where you're from. And it was a strange team in Canada. They finished with a 10-46, 0-2 record, and you were telling me they had a lot of different coaching staffs as well. I'm wondering if it was a bit tough to play on a team like that just because there wasn't a lot of success within the organization.
Yeah, I mean, in some senses, it was pretty tough, right? You never want to lose that many games. Yeah, we went through 4 different coaches that year, 3 different full coaching staffs. So there was a lot of turnover going on constantly. And it's, at the same time, I think it was great for my development. I played 43 games I think that year, and like as a rookie goalie, that's a lot. You can't ask for any more than that, right? So I think for my first season, like for my development, that was actually huge. Again, yeah, obviously tough to play on a losing team like that, but.
Now, in your second year, just a few games in, you were traded out west to the Alberta Junior Hockey League in Okotoks. Were you expecting the trade at all? Did you know it was coming, anything like that?
I had a good idea it was coming. They were working on a trade with me over the off season, I know, after my first season. My team in Canada didn't want to trade me. They wanted to bring me back for the next season. Then things got off to a rough start again that season with Canada. And, I think it was kind of a mutual agreement between myself, my advisor, and Canada that it was time to move on. Yeah, I was hoping I'd get into a bit of a better situation personally in Okotoks, but so I did see it coming. Yeah.
Now, having grown up, you're pretty much your whole life in Ontario, was it difficult to leave home sort of for the first time for a long time?
Honestly, I'm pretty easygoing with that kind of thing. I don't get homesick or anything like that. I really just enjoy seeing different parts of Canada and stuff. Obviously, I'm hoping this is the last place in Canada I see in my junior hockey career. So, yeah.
Now, heading into the last off-season with Okotoks, you played behind a goaltender mostly who was a year younger than you, so he got the majority of the playing time. I think you were injured as well last year, so you missed some playing time. But heading into this past off-season with Okotoks, did you know where you sat with them? Did they want to bring you back as well, or were you looking to move on again?
We had a mutual agreement that it just wasn't going to work out there for me. Like you talked about, I played behind a guy that was a year younger than me, so he was coming back. He still has 2 years of junior left, and he had a phenomenal season. Great guy, great goalie, and they had no reason to make him the goalie of their future. So I understood that, and Okotoks recognized that as well.
Now heading out here, was it sort of the same thing? You knew where you were going, or did you have any idea where you were going to get moved?
I really didn't. No, I didn't know what was going on. I was just going to the off season thinking I just got to work hard on and off the ice, and whatever happens will happen, right? I'll find a spot somewhere, and it'll work out as long as I'm just putting the effort in.
Now, goaltending is a mental game as much as it is physical. I mean, you can't let a bad goal get on your mind for the rest of the game, anything like that. So your first few games here with the Kings, you lost your first 3 games. And I'm wondering if it was frustrating for you, if it was getting in the back of your head that, am I ever going to get a win here in the BCHL?
Yeah, you want to win games. Obviously, that's the name of the game. It's to put wins on the board. At the same time, I know it's a process, and I felt like we were talking about with the off-season work. Same thing here. Like I felt like I was putting the work in, and I felt like I was executing pretty well. There was maybe a few saves I could have made here and there that were, my big save to keep the team in the game. But I also felt like I was making a few of those at the same time, and I felt like my process was good. I felt like the work was there. Working hard, working smart, and Jeff Batta gave me a little reminder of that after my second game. He just said, "Hey, you played well. Trust the process; it'll come." Right. So.
The voice you're listening to is Powell River Kings goaltender Brian Wilson. And Brian, that work culminated with a win against the Wenatchee Wild at the BCHL Showcase for your first win. Not many more exciting ways to win your first game than in overtime. How much of a relief was that for you to finally get that first win?
It was. I was excited. You won't see me get too emotional out there very often. Probably throughout the season. I like to just kind of win as if I've done it 1,000 times before, and if I lose, so be it. It's but that was one of the times you'll see me get pretty excited. I was ecstatic when Betsy got the overtime winner there, and yeah, it was definitely an exciting game.
Now, lastly, Brian, of all your experiences in hockey so far, junior, midget, all these kind of things, I'm wondering how unique this situation here in Powell River is, just because of the geographical location of the city, the travels. I'm wondering if this group of guys is maybe one of the closest you've seen throughout your career.
I can tell you without a doubt, this is the best group of guys I've played with in my junior hockey career. Just everyone, like he says, everyone's so close. It's hard to even describe. Just every single guy in there gets along, and it's not just that we get along. Right? There's no cliques in there. We're not all in little groups. Everyone wants to hang out with each other all the time, away from the rink, and we're all supportive around the rink as well. And it's amazing, really.
Brian, thanks for this. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.